I call the member for Noosa.
Thank you, Speaker. There are so many to thank in our community who, as with our horrific fires just over 2 years ago, came again to everyone's aid with our floods and shone in ways that often leave me speechless through their selflessness. For some, the water came suddenly whilst residents slept, including into my own home. For others, there was time to lift furniture. Many were isolated for days on end, cut off by roads and bridges from the in excess of a metre recorded in some of our beautiful countryside. Others were trapped on car and shed roofs. In terrifying rescues were thankfully saved. In some areas it took 4 days before visitors could be flood-boated out to return home. For others, getting out then becomes replaced with the stress of getting back in to view the damage. Speed at which this happened was shocking, as well as subsequent rain and events after the initial flooding. Just as everywhere else across south-east Queensland, there was heartbreaking loss. From family heirlooms to crops, including our famous Noosa Reds, to stock and cars. We can replace things, but we cannot replace lives. Every moment of every day, our teams were there, whether online or in person, as soon as they could access precincts, including myself when it was safe to travel the river via Tinny. Our local disaster management group met morning and afternoon and did a phenomenal job in all realms. Constant updates to the community reassured as well as assured of what was happening and when. This was vital not only during the emergency but heading to recovery. How blessed we are in Noosa that we have these incredible teams, and even there is no time to name individually because there's so many, we all know who you are. Yes, we do have room for improvement. There was confusion relating to picking up children from schools and closures. There was need for quicker flood support for our small businesses, as well as provision of assistance to remove flood-affected household goods to landfill. Rapid access to resources to clean up the polystyrene, which was a disaster in our ocean and on our beaches from those pontoons, as well as contamination in our catchments. We also have those impacted by land and road slips who are not considered eligible under the emergency disaster payment. We learn more with each disaster, making us better prepared and even more resilient for future ones. Speaker, we now have much to do in Noosa, with severe road damage that will leave residents impacted very little access for months, even for waste removal. Assistance is needed from state and federal governments to our council, as we are not equipped to handle this large-scale damage all at once, as well to impacted local roads through efforts regarding the Traveston rail train derailment. Our gratitude to all frontliners and first responders who not only saved lives, they assisted in hosing out mud-filled homes amongst the many hundreds of urgencies when the water went down. To our volunteer organisations, SES, Rural Fireys, everybody who again went above and beyond and available for any task, whether filling sandbags, lifting sodden furniture, directing traffic, to ensuring all were fed. What would we do without you? To Noosa Council and staff that often would go through the night without sleep, whether responding to calls or ensuring facilities were ready to act as refuges or evacuation centres, you all rocked. To Minister Ryan and your staff for contacting to ensure we had everything we needed, it was deeply appreciated. To residents who rescued others or worked tirelessly assisting their neighbours, friends as well as strangers, the incredible stories of bravery and generosity did not end with the offers of mussels, shovelling, food, beds or transport within our own community. It extended to Gympie and anywhere that asked for assistance, especially for those who lost all. How beautiful you all are. The one thing we did learn is the need for a central portal for all offers to go to, as it can be a full-time job in itself responding and connecting needs to those offers. To our state disaster recovery teams who set up as soon as possible, these pop-ups are invaluable as you know, getting through what assistance is available when you are exhausted and traumatised, and many are in shock, is essential as part of recovery. And to all other electorates impacted, our thoughts were with you and will continue to be right through your own recoveries. And to those who lost a loved one, our deepest heartfelt sympathies to you and your families. Thank you again to everyone. How proud I am of my electorate, as well as all of Queensland, for who you are and what you do every day. Thank you.
Speaker.